The daily graphic here, at least we have 80 days to the election countdown. Spiritual healers, men of God tend to billboards. Don't give incumbents undue advantage, media urged. Stop labeling clergy as partisan. Hard road to school, government to the rescue. And the Ghanaian Times, woman buries baby alive. Please cool down, president urges all. And then government pays consultant physicians. And to help us look at the issues, I have Skofri Yeboah, who is the director of Visionaries Foundation. Next to Skofri is Niyate Akwete, a solicitor at law. Good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning, Audrey.
And you're welcome.
Thank you.
I hope you're doing well.
Beautiful.
Okay. Let's look at the Ghanaian Times. Woman buries baby alive. The secondary police have apprehended a 32-year-old woman, Adrada Paul, for allegedly burying her newly born baby boy alive at Bondi. It's a very sad story.
Indeed, it's a gory story to hear this morning, that a woman will conceive and have a baby for 9 months, and upon delivery will want to wrap the baby and bury the baby alive. And I believe that whoever might have informed the police or give the police a tip-off on this particular one did well. And this also is to tell us that our society is evolving into something else that we cannot really explain. There are times that people have peculiar problems, but they don't know who and who to go to, if to take counsel or advice from. I believe that if this lady had been given the care, sometimes I don't know whether it's a teenager or
32-year-old woman.
Then
she's quite young anyway.
Yeah, 32. But you see, sometimes the mindset or the environment from which she took the seed, sometimes she might really needed somebody to talk to, and there was nobody there. That should tell us many of us are working as sane people, and we see them to be sane. But beneath their subconscious, there are a lot of things bothering them, and this could be a typical example of such an instance, because it is very abnormal to take the pain to conceive, have the baby for 9-month journey, and upon delivery you wrap the baby up in a t-shirt and
alive.
Yes, alive, and bury the baby. It beats normal thinking minds. And like I said, for all you know, she was having a peculiar challenge or problem, but she had no one to talk to. Sometimes she was neglected, and she felt alone. But I believe that this is a clarion call to society that not everybody who walks on the street that you see drinking normally, eating normally, is absolutely normal. For all we know, something else is happening. We must go back to the days of fellow feeling. How are you? How are you doing? So all they need is a little care. But in the absence of such care, they run for such gory instances. It's really a bad story, and it hurts.
Niyati, I mean, she's 32.
Yeah.
She's carried the baby for 9 months, like he's saying, and you can see from the passion that Skofri is talking from. It's quite sad.
I couldn't agree with him more, but to add to it, I would say, where are our institutions? Where is the social welfare? And like institutions, are they really working? Okay, if, for instance, this thing has occurred because the expectant mother or the mother, is thinking how to fend for the baby or cater for the baby financially and otherwise, and she knew there is an institution that can take care of the baby just in case she can't, then maybe she would have been calm in spirit and might not have done what she did.
Yeah.
So I would want to appeal to our institutions to be up and doing, so we wouldn't
do you think outside we have in some places there are situations where single mothers are catered for? Yeah. If they have a child, they're given some money by government. Do you think government should do something like that to help single mothers? I don't think if she had a husband, she would have gone to that extent.
What I believe is that we should emulate the right deeds and practices elsewhere. And our nation is evolving. We've not gotten there yet. Like my brother Riley put it, if the already established agencies are up and doing, if they are well resourced, because if you go to facilities that are branded social welfare facility, it will shock you. And if you look at such a place and you look at yourself, you are the devil being between the devil and the Red Sea to know what to do. So like he said, our agencies that are sanctioned to take care of some of these challenges must be up and doing. And we shouldn't make it too much criminal. I believe that the psychologists and other agencies must go into this issue. It might be bigger than just burying the baby. They must put the lid to other scrutinies and realize that is she actually sane? Because sometimes trauma, pain, looking at the environment alone could put a lot of fear, shame, and being not able to withstand all this, she goes to this particular gory direction. And I believe that all the agencies, and we shouldn't leave her alone in this battle.
I'm told the police are still investigating into the case. So from what he's saying, should be criminal.
Certainly.
Probably there might be some psychological issues here.
That is for experts to determine.
Okay.
You know, there sure are, you know, criminal elements in there.
That's true.
But then if it can well be established in courts or, you know, the necessary forum that, you know, she did it, you know, with that intent or whatever intent she had, and, you know, all the other elements of crime can be established, then she would have to face the rigors of the law. And it is for the judge or her defense lawyer to, you know, make an appeal for a qualified person, a duly qualified, you know, psychiatrist to examine her, just in case, you know, they would want to plea on, you know, insanity or temporary insanity or something.
Okay.
You know.
Now, moving away from that story, this one says, please cool down. President urges all. And to read a little bit of it, it says, President John Mahama on Saturday appealed to politicians to exhibit cool-headedness in their deliberations in order to create confidence in the electoral process.
As a matter of fact, it's amazing when you live in a society where our understanding of electoral process falls short of how we all must understand that it is a process where we pick people to lead us in a specific way to reach a particular goal or to go to a particular destination. If we don't, we are not even there yet. We don't understand that it is a process that we all must have our hands on deck. Now, it's as if one does not go through, it must end up in a chaos, it must end up in this. It has become a do and die affair, which must not be. As a matter of fact, we the electorate have the power. It is not the one on the TV, the radio, or whatever platform that has the power. You are saying, I don't have the time to do A, B, C, D. For that matter, I want to vote you into office or into this position to take care of this particular function of my life. And they in the bid of doing this, because they've tested our understanding of what really the electoral process means, they are able to fine-tune us to their beat, not as we are drumming for them to dance. So it is a clarion call, not only from a president, but it must also come from us. We must come to the point to understand that election is about giving your mandate or your power to someone to perform a particular function for you, not for himself. If we have this basic understanding, and by nature, even Siamese twins will come out with different way of thinking. Okay, you want to take the left course, I want to take the right course. For that reason, we might not really agree on certain ways of doing things, but definitely we must end at a particular point. So if you come from the left and I come from the right, it does not mean, now it's amazing. Wives are fighting husbands just because they are on a political divide.
Yes.
Families are breaking up, father, children. It's amazing. It is because we don't have the clear understanding, the crystal clear belief that, hey, there is no one way of doing things. There is no one way of having all the knowledge under the sun or wisdom under the sun. You might have your own, I might have. We galvanize this, converge at the center, and we pursue a national agenda. So it is a national call, which I also call on the NCC or other institutions that are mandated. We, the citizens, also must allow ourselves to be educated, to be given the understanding it is not a do and die affair. If the politicians know that Ghanaians have gotten to the point where you cannot take them for granted, you cannot spew any junk out there, and people will carry machetes, hold each other at the throat, and wrestle, then they will know how to go about their duties very well. So it is a clarion call to us and to the politicians as well.
Okay. Now, looking at the appeal from the president to all other politicians who are going to be engaged in the elections, do you think the call has come at the appropriate time? The appeal for them to be cool-headed?
It sure has come at an appropriate time, and nobody can ignore good news. You know, it's a call for a good cause, a call for peace. So we will, you know, it is very well welcome. However, politicians as they are would always take advantage of situations to their advantage. Okay, in doing so, however, I would urge them to have in mind, the greater good for the greater people. Okay, they shouldn't think of their parochial interest only, but then think of us all as Ghanaians. And Ghana comes first, at least in their bid, to grab power or hold on to power. They have as their aim to make Ghana a better place for us all to live in. And chaos wouldn't be one place for us to live.
Not at all.
I think, the call for peace is just
all
a
the
call in the
peace
right
walks
direction.
and the peace talks that are taking place, I don't see it happening like Ghanaians are going to take up machetes and all that to create any chaos or something in the country. The president actually said that the voice of the people will speak during the elections, and also it is God who will install a president through the voice of the people. Just like you were saying, it's the people who are selecting them to come and rule over them and to do something in particular for them. I don't think it would get to that stage. What do you think?
You see, even the conference of a church, you cannot predict 100% that if at an instant everybody will tow a righteous way of getting things done. Sometimes what we hear them say on political platforms is far, far different from what they plan in their engine rooms behind the scenes where you and I wouldn't be there. So it is up to us, the citizenry, that, okay, this is the way we want to get things done. It's not really as at how they want it. Somebody will come and promise you A, B, C, D. The other says E, F, G, H. Look at it as to where you really belong, where really your priorities are. So it is not just by the walk. If so, then we should walk the talk. If so, we should practicalize what we are believing in. Imagine if somebody is slapped at the polling station for peace sake, the person will fold their hand. That will not be, even by natural response, you will want to respond. But it all boils down to the understanding of electoral process.
Okay, you want to add something more before we move on?
I think I'll go with what you said.
All right. So the voice of the people is what matters.
Absolutely.
Sure. Another story here, it says 2 communities to benefit from 20,000 Ghana cedis potable water facilities following pollution of Birim River. So two communities in the Achimabokwa traditional area are to benefit from a 20,000 Ghana cedis water project to improve potable water delivery in the area following the pollution of the Birim River. It's not unfortunate that these Galamsey operators keep polluting rivers and then they go to restricted areas to practice. So that's why there's a call for potable water in the area. Would you like to comment on that?
Well, I would say, the importance of water can never be overemphasized. We all know how important water is. So definitely, there should be no community on the face of this earth without, potable drinking water. So I think, it just shouldn't be an empty promise. The people need the water. The water must be, provided for them. So with all speediness, I think, the project should commence.
Well, I feel saddened about this particular story because I don't believe that we should have gotten to this point for us to create boreholes. God, in his own infinite wisdom, blessed us with water bodies. It was up to us, okay, to keep these water bodies, for them to function for the main purpose and reason why in the wisdom of our Creator created these water bodies. They were not
dried up.
They were not just there for only water consumption. They are part and parcel of protecting our livelihood as human beings. We've sat down. We've been part of the pollution process. And now there's the Birim that was one of the prestige of the people of Achims. It's now gone. It is so polluted that you cannot even call it a water body anymore. And now we are going to rely on borehole. Let us not be kidding ourselves that sometimes the chemicals that has engulfed the water bodies, for which reason that makes it undrinkable, sometimes sink deeper into the land, and where you think that you are even digging the borehole for safety's sake might also equally be affected. So let us not even start singing glorious songs. The bottom line is that we, the citizenry, we, the people called Ghanaians, must stand up to protect what is naturally rightfully ours. Let us make sure that somebody will come with investment money and blah, blah, blah. And at the expense of investment, we are losing our water bodies. Very soon, we will be tempted to import water because the water bodies will dry up because we are not taking care of it. We are cutting down all the trees. We are allowing galamsey. Who brings in the galamsey? The poor man cannot go and bring in the galamsey. Opinion leaders are behind these things. and they'll put on a charade face, sit on platforms, and we condemn it with, and it's so romantic on set or on platform. But behind the scenes, their hands are dirty. Their hands are not clean of such. We shouldn't sit down at borehole. Look, our forefathers, these rivers are 200 years old and over, and we sit down for it to dry up within several years. It is.
But then at least for now, the water is polluted, and then the boreholes, it probably might help the communities because they can't even afford to buy sachet water and all that, unlike other people. Now, there's this other very graphic story and picture here. Hard road to school, government to the rescue. Students, as the age limit, when they look at the age, it's scary. 6-year-old students, 9-year-old pupils have to cross this bridge to go to school over the dam. And it's quite dangerous.
Well, to me, I've always been saying that our educational system needs total overhauling. That is what I can say. Everything in our educational system needs total overhauling.
Well, the story goes beyond just, students and pupils. Maybe the picture was captured at the time when these children were going to school.
If you go to the middle page, 65, we have a worker going to work and also using the
Yes, so
bridge.
they scale these fences, in a bit to get to their destinations. What measures have we put in place to, stop the scaling of these, bridges and fences? Okay, we should be seen to be doing work and not, looking for alternatives when there are simpler ways of preventing these things.
That's true.
Okay, is it the story with the provision of a metro bus?
The metro bus
Very
and then
good.
also bridges.
Should you provide these metro buses? Okay, there are children who don't go to school. And you see, the story makes it about children because of their sizes. Because of their little size, they can go through
Easily,
the metal
fences.
bars, the fences. So the children end up doing that more than the grown-ups. So, it should be looked at. If you provide the buses for the children, there are children who do not go to school. What happens after school hours? Because the buses wouldn't be there any time to carry people who have been sent by parents and who are going around, their normal, daily activities.
I think the schools too should be built closer to these villages than they going all over to
There are
different
parents who feel some schools are better than others and want their wards to go to certain schools.
Okay.
So, and schools being nearer, certainly I think there might be some schools closer.
No, the story continued. Actually has portions that said that probably later on in the future there might be schools that might be built in the villages for the pupils.
Very well. Then basically, they should find ways of, protecting or making higher, the fences so these children can scale or, go through them.
Okay.
To
All right.
prevent,
But I think some people will find that a sport, and they might prefer even scaling the fences than using the bridge.
Yes.
No matter how dangerous
everybody loves to take a shortcut. I think it is a very shortcut to town. So.
Okay. All right. So I'll be reviewing some issues in the papers with Niyate Akwete, Solicitor at Law, and then Skofri Yebua, Director at Visionaries Foundation. Thank you very much, gentlemen, for coming.
Thank you for having me.
The show continues. Please stay tuned. Go! Welcome to a new life of freedom.
That's a favor you like top. My dog me look on the sheen and love for right top. Mama will go above and top.
This is better.
She done to a sight chop. My body like chop.
In the war of roses, no one wins.
My body die town. He breaking hearts way dog gum. Me a take top. I won't keep from suspect top. My body die town. He breaking hearts way dog gum. Me a the like top. I won't keep on suspect come. I know they care what they say. Anything I go pay. I go
shining through the dark.
Raise my hand and touch the hammer. I'll become alive, fighting to survive.
Listen to your heart, make a better start.
Then you must see the sign of what's going on.
Visions of Ghana, she's like no other. Speak